Hey guys, welcome to the Insect Nerd podcast. My name is Zara Breeden and I will be talking about entomology today and sort of the importance of insects and just talking a little bit sort of about me and introducing myself a bit more because I am fairly new to the podcasting world. So I have done some videos on YouTube. My animals are, you probably can hear my frog in the background, Neville. He gets excited at different sounds. You there? Okay there, Neville. Can you hear him? That's Neville. Neville is one of my frogs. He likes to crow at inconvenient times. So I'll just sort of be talking about a little bit about me first. I'm not going to give you a big long story. So I have done a few videos on YouTube. But they are named Animal Chit Chat, and the reason for that is because that was my oldish name, but I feel like the Insect Nerd is more appropriate because I love to study insects, and I am learning a lot about entomology, so I feel that the Insect Nerd is a lot more of an appropriate name for me and my channel and my podcasts and things like that. So, yeah, but I will, however, still talk about different animals because, as you just heard, if you did hear that, if the mic picked that up, that would have been brilliant. I keep other animals. I keep, like, tree frogs. I keep a hamster. I keep leaf insects, stick insects, beetle larvae, moth larvae, such as the Chinese moon moth and the North American bullseye moth larvae, so it's very exciting. I just love to study lots of different insects, basically. My family absolutely love it, and I keep all these insects in my room. It's sort of like having a little jungle in the house, I think. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I've always liked insects from a young age, always, so that's why I have changed the name. And if you want to see my website, it's still developing, but it's www.theinsectnerd.co.uk, and there are some pages that are not available yet because they haven't been done, but some of them are new pages that I haven't put on my old Animal Chit Chat website. Some of them I will have to copy over to my new the Insect Nerd website, but there is some sort of bits there, so some information. There is information about insects in general, introduction to insects, sort of external build of insects, and there's a for sale page which has some quite interesting things on there, such as some lovely novelty mugs sort of for Christmas for your loved ones, and there is also some stick insect eggs that I will be selling, the giant bean stick insects. They are absolutely lovely. I will be putting pictures of them and stuff on my webpage at some point, but as I said, it's in development, so please be patient. But anyway, that's sort of talk about what entomology is. So entomology is the study of insects, and it's been around a fair bit. I would say I can't remember the correct exact date, but I think it's in the 1900s somewhere. I think it's mid 1900s, and it's been sort of a subject in university and things like that, and it's been very popular. But recently, unfortunately, it hasn't been so popular recently. I'm not sure why. Maybe because there's other subjects like zoology and ecology, which also, the more studies of sort of exotic animals, and ecology is the study of sort of environment and things like that. But it's something I guess I would be interested in too. But it's a shame that entomology is not as popular as it was. It's not a very understood subject. I feel there's not many people who are interested in insects. They sort of either don't understand, and that's fair enough, or they just are sort of repulsed by insects, and that's quite sad, but it's just how it is. But yeah, for all you insect and animal lovers, welcome, and let's sort of continue this. So we just sort of want to talk about sort of the basics today. So let's just talk about what's the difference between insects and, not the difference between insects, sorry. I mean, what defines an insect? If we looked at an insect, what do they have? Well, insects have 3 segments of their body. So they have a head, the thorax, and the abdomen. They have 3 segments. Whereas something like a spider, so many people confuse a spider and say it's an insect just because it crawls around outside like an insect, they always think, oh, it's an insect. But in fact, it's got 8 legs and it's got 2 body segments. One's the abdomen and one's the celiac. I can't pronounce it. It's on my website, the correct spelling, but hang on a minute. Celepothorax or something like that. So it's literally just sort of like, it doesn't even have a head, the spider. The correct sort of spelling is on my website. Unfortunately, I cannot pronounce the word. Bear with me as I try and pronounce them because they are not very easy words, as you can imagine. I think it's celepothorax or something like that. I think that's how it's pronounced, but the spelling's on my website. And so, that's very different, because the arachnid has 2 segments and the insects have 3 segments of their body. So that is very different. And also insects are known to have the ability to fly. So I have, some leaf insects fly, only the males fly, and stick insects fly, and even some mantises fly as well. Whereas spiders, arachnids, don't seem to fly. Not really. They're more known to be ground dwelling. So that's quite interesting. But they like other invertebrates. So invertebrates are animals with no backbone. So these animals are myriapods, crustaceans, arachnids, and insects. So they all share the fact that they don't have a backbone too. And also they share another similarity, these 3 groups, the fact that they have a exoskeleton. Now, what's an exoskeleton? Well, can you imagine your skeleton being on the outside of your body where your skin is, rather than inside? How funny is that, right? So weird. But basically, that's what it is. Their skeleton is on the outside of their body, rather than, in the inside like ours. Exoskeletons will go on about and talk about what they're made of and things like that in another podcast, in external body structure. There is some information on my website already about that, so if you want to look ahead, go ahead. That's basically sort of the basic knowledge of insects. They're like, they are sort of, that's the basic knowledge of they all have an exoskeleton and therefore they are called arthropods. Arthropods are animals with a outer skeleton. That's the other term for it. Sorry about that there. I was almost half asleep. That's sort of the difference between those there. So we've got arthropods. Let's just cover it a little bit and see that, and just sort of recover what we're doing. So arthropods are, animals with an exoskeleton. And invertebrates, which those following animals, those following creatures were that I listed: myriapods, crustaceans, arachnids, and insects, are all invertebrates, meaning they don't have a backbone. That's just sort of a bit about the sort of tiny bit about the build of insects and their differences and similarities to other invertebrates and arthropods, and how to tell the difference. I just want to talk about the usefulness of insects quickly as well, because so many people sort of don't really sort of think about insects in the way that they should. They think, oh, why do insects exist? I want to squish that fly, or and actually they are so useful. For example, flies are actually, despite being dirty insects, they do have qualities in what they do. They are decomposers. So there are other insects that are decomposers, like dung beetles and things like that. And basically they sort of eat up all the waste and sort of clear away for us, if you will. They are sort of the insect sort of bin men of the insect world. And then, you know, we've got bees, which is sort of an obvious. They go around and pollinate flowers and help them grow. And then we've got sort of ants and tunnel dwellers, sort of in the soil, making tunnels, and then that allows stems and stuff to go into the soil and grow and get the nutrients they need. So that's really helpful. And then actually this is a sort of a really good one, this last one. There are so many more on my website, and there probably are so many more examples of how insects are useful in the environment, in our environment and in our world. Without them we would be lost. But basically insects can determine time of death. So when inspectors and detectives and forensics sort of discover a body, if they find an insect in the body, they can sort of determine the time of death, or the time of when the body was murdered, blah blah blah, all that sort of stuff. It's really interesting, and there's a couple of cases that I've put links on there for you to have a look at. So if you kind of into that forensic stuff, please do. I think that's it for our sort of session. There is more on my website as well if you would like to have a look at more reasons why insects are so great. And you know, they are sort of very, very strong insects. They are very interesting to watch and observe and learn about. And you know, I really wish people did respect them more than they did. But anyway, before I ramble on, just want to say thank you for listening. Don't forget to head over to my website for more information, www.theinsectnerd.co.uk, and you can check out my other YouTube videos that are still addressed in animal chit chat, but there's some loads of good ones there, and I will change to the name soon, but you can still watch those. Thank you for listening. This has been my first podcast, and I will be hoping to do more for a bit, because I just haven't I've been having trouble with my camera, so I have stuck to podcasts for now, but I will do more videos in the future, and you know, hopefully you'll be listening. But I say goodbye now, and tune in. Thanks.